Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and in this video I'm going to be breaking down Air India Flight 171. Now, this is my first video doing making a video like this where I'm breaking down a plane crash. The reason I'm breaking this down is because I actually have a decent amount of information to make like a probable cause of the crash. So we're going to start with this video. This was taken from what looks like to be a CCTV camera at the side of the airport. Right here, the plane is taking off. As you can see, it passes this Airbus A320neo. The way I know that is on flight radar 24. At the time this plane was taking off, there was a plane that was taxiing. Now, on flight radar, it shows the plane taking off from the intersection, but that didn't happen. The reason the plane looks like it rotated so late is because the temperature was 35 degrees Celsius, which is like damn near at 90 degrees Fahrenheit. So if you guys know a little bit about aviation, you might probably know that heat causes a plane to not be able to fly as great. Like, a plane can still fly in heat, but it can't fly as efficiently. So yeah, if we go to flight radar 24, we go over here to Ahmedabad International Airport where this took place. We go over here, load earlier flights, and we go to the one here. Now, this is the plane that crashed. If we go to playback, here's the plane right here. So if we click playback, it's super quick, but it cuts off right here because I don't know what happened. The plane already had issues before it took off because if you look at some videos, which I don't want to show because of the graphic things that are ahead. So if you look up on Twitter or X, whatever you call it, if you look up on there, Air India 171, you'll see a video from a passenger who was in the plane. There were a lot of in-flight entertainment screens that weren't working, and the ones that were, from what the passenger recorded, none of the controls were working. So there was already something up with the plane. And on top of the only survivor, whose name is, I think, Kumar, I don't know, but the only survivor said that there was a loud bang after takeoff, and then the plane crashed. It was super quick, and next thing he knew, he woke up next to a bunch of dead bodies because there was 242 people, so as you can imagine. Now, again, here's the plane. And if I look at the airport playback, again, this happened at 8 a.m. UTC, 1:10 local time. If I go to playback, we go to June 12th at 8 a.m. UTC, start playback, right here. So here's the plane. Now, keep an eye out. Here's the other plane, the A320neo. The A320neo, this is the plane right here. This is this plane. Indigo Flight 94, inbound for Dehradun, if that's how you pronounce it, I don't know. But inbound for that airport. This is this plane. And here we have Air India 171 taking off. As you can see, it's taxiing to the runway. And the airport flight radar satellite scenery is clearly outdated. Air India took this path. It looks like it's unfinished, but it is finished. It's just outdated, the scenery. If we click right here, as you can see, it looks like it took off from the intersection, but do not actually believe that. It back taxied because if it had taken off from the intersection, the plane wouldn't even have been able to rotate in the first place. It would have probably overshot the runway, crashed into this, or maybe if it would have probably passed that and crashed into these houses. But it back taxied and then took off, and it reached around 625 feet. That's the last calculated altitude of the plane before the plane eventually entered a stall. And considering what the passenger said about a loud bang, and then if we look at this video, if I can find, okay, here, if we go over here, I actually bookmarked it. So if we go to oh my god, wrong button. If we go over here, listen. You can hear a propeller. The only times you hear a propeller from a plane like this is when both engines are out, I think. Now, The 787 has a ram air turbine that deploys when the plane loses engine power. And if I look up a video, 787 ram sound, I'm pretty sure I'm trying. I think it's this one. Exact same plane, exact same variant. As you can see, that is the turbine from the ram air turbine. That's the sound it makes, and that's the sound we heard here. So what this leads me to believe is that this was a dual engine failure, and because of that, the plane eventually lost all thrust. Because as you can see, if we go back to the other video, hopefully I don't get a... Okay, by the way, this is the survivor. This isn't graphic enough. He just has bruises on his face, but this is the only survivor, absolute legend right here. As you can see, he's quoted saying 30 seconds after takeoff, there was a loud noise, and then quickly the plane crashed. It all happened so quickly. When I got up, there were bodies all around me. Absolute legend. That's what he said. Thank God he survived. If we go over here, now this shows you a better angle. You can see the plane lifting off. So as you can see, it rotates normally. So it doesn't look like weight was an issue. This was definitely on the engine, so don't even blame Boeing. So as you can see, at this point, I think that's where the loud noise happened, and that's probably where the engines went out. And you can see it stops climbing and it begins to descend rapidly. It turns to the right slightly. It then turns to the left slightly before eventually coming down on a school or a building. It came down on a building, obviously, because this is a densely populated area, and like if we're talking about buildings, this area has a lot of buildings around. So yeah, eventually came down on that building, which was this one, by the way, if you see on that top left. But yeah, as you can see, here's a landing gear in the building. This is the one of the main gears. You can also see a bunch of padding around. I'm not sure if that's within the building or part of the plane. And then the most famous frame, which is basically the tail sticking out of the back of the building, because as you can see, the plane did come down in like, well, the nose was pointed upwards. So this is the most known frame right here. As you can see, the tail is sticking out of the back. Both horizontal stabilizers are broken. And yeah, that is it for this video. That is my final take on this entire situation. I think it was an engine failure. It was probably a little bit pilot error, but it also had to, I think it was maintenance. Because one thing you got to realize, once an airline buys a plane, it is on them to maintain the plane. It is not on Boeing to maintain the plane. Because when it comes to the 787, the 787 doesn't have any problems. Like the plane itself, the engines have problems. Like, not in the, and I'm gonna make this really clear. The engines don't have to do with Boeing or Airbus. If anything like this happens, where an engine goes out mid-flight, it does not have to do with the airplane manufacturer. It has to do with the engine manufacturer, because airlines choose the engine they want to use on their plane, and Boeing chose the Rolls-Royce Trent. No, it's not Trent, but it's the GEnx engine on the 787, and that engine already has is already known for having issues. So yeah, I think what happened was a dual engine failure, and that's why you heard the ram air turbine, because it deployed automatically, and that's the propeller sound you heard. And then the planes began to stall before crashing into one of these buildings in this frame right here. Now, that is my final take on the situation. Then again, this crash did happen this morning, so we gotta wait for more information. I don't think I'll make another video, like, unless a really big piece of evidence comes out or like a different angle comes out. I won't make a video. But yeah, that's it for this video. Tell me guys in the comments if you have any other opinions or any other theories. Please don't go in my comments blaming Boeing, because I will make this clear. engine issues are not on the airplane manufacturer, they are on the engine manufacturer. So if anything, this is Rolls-Royce's fault. But then again, I won't take that with a grain of salt because we do not know what actually caused the crash. We're just using everything we've seen and eyewitness reports to try to piece together a cause. But yeah, that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.